So I finally have part 2 of my Perfection model 1692 restoration. I think it came out pretty good. I will tack on to the end of this some of the restoration videos of my sandblasting and some of the challenges that I ran into. But she looks pretty good. Actually, I was wrong. It's 1691 is the model. The only final thing that I'll say that I wasn't happy with how it came out was this top section where the porcelain was rusted really bad, and I was able to touch it up with some heat resistant black paint just to protect it, but I was hoping to do a little bit more. But there's what 1691 looks like from part 1 of my video. The rest of this, like I said, you'll see just some of the challenges. I'll probably just add some text. I won't have any voiceover, and you'll see some of the other challenges I ran into. But about 10 months later, I finally got it finished. So I welcome your comments and suggestions, especially if anyone has come across any way for me to restore this top section to get it back to 100%. But pretty cool, I think. All the way around. Really pitted bad up here, you can see, but I was able to at least get it cleaned up. This is the first one that I had that has this little heat adjuster. I don't know how effective it really is on the real thing, but kind of a neat little feature. So I'll let you see the rest of part 2, and thanks for anybody who watches and has a few comments who are fellow fans of the Perfection kerosene heaters. Okay, well, unfortunately, both of these screws broke off, so I'm going to have to resort to my next step of probably a 1mm drill all the way through, then maybe a 2mm, and then if I can find one that's exact, and I'm just going to drill it out and replace these old screws. So after successfully getting the kerosene heater apart, I've already washed the globe one time, but you can see there's quite a bit of rust. So we're going to use Old Faithful, a SOS pad, see if we can get this looking a little bit better. Okay, here it is, about as clean as I'm ever going to get it. I have scrubbed the edges as best I could, but it's much cleaner, and give a nice glow to that firelight once I get it finished. And there's the Perfection logo. So I managed to get this little rivet out in one piece. I don't know if it's going to be salvageable. I could just see the little rusted pieces breaking off, but that should be fairly easy to replace. And then I'll show you what this was keeping it together. Of course, I still got to work on these guys. These screws broke off, So I'm trying to figure out how to drill those out, or if I can get lucky and get the screw broken loose on the back side and start to remove those without really doing any significant drilling, but we'll see. All right, so get this out of the way. And then this little guy comes off. That's that rotating piece. And a lot of rust. So good that I was able to get that off so I can give that a good sandblasting. And maybe see if I can find like a nickel, polished nickel type of finish. Then I'll be able to sandblast the whole inside, give it a good cleaning, and then we'll start to work on the top. So the next step is these two screws here, so I can get those out. So making slow but steady progress. So just a quick review. This is what I've been using for all of the Perfection heaters when I sandblast all of the rust off. I got this at a Harbor Freight for maybe $20. It didn't work so good at first until I learned that the sand that I was using, I had to filter it to get any larger particulates out of it. And once you do that, it comes out of this nozzle. It almost pours out on its own. So you get good free-flowing sand, and then with the air compressor, it just does a great job. And you saw a little bit of video right before this of me using it. So for craft work like I'm doing, it does pretty good. But you know, if you have access to a more professional grade and fully enclosed sandblaster, you can get a more complete job done. But again, just needing to filter out. I think I was using play sand that I got at Lowe's Home Improvement, but I had to filter it out to get the small particles out so it would work. But this really makes good work of a restoration. So here's the base. It's been sandblasted. I have used navel jelly to try to get all this extra heavy-duty rust, and then it looks wet because I just went over it with an SOS pad to try to get any of the last of the bulky rust that's on it, just so I can get a good adhesion when I paint it. This is really heavy, and on some of the other pieces I've actually found where you can actually see light through, or it's actually rusted all the way through. So this is one of the most probably heavily rusted, damaged pieces of the three kerosene heaters that I've worked on at this point. But you know, it's funny how much of the old nickel plating is still there. It just doesn't look very good because of the wear and tear. So I hope that my choice of a metallic paint will give it a good protection for rust for many years to come, and at least give it a very similar look. So the restoration's coming along pretty well. So you'll start to see some finished views here later.